My name is Sherry O'Neill, and I'm 59 years old, and I'm talking to my father, Ivan O'Neill, who will be 88 on October 1st, 2016. Did I get that right, Dad?
That's right.
Well, the first thing I'd like to ask you about is something that's happened in the last 10 years, and that is that you've lost your vision. What's that been like for you?
It's very difficult. I think there's certain things that you really miss. I think driving a car takes away your freedom in so many ways. I live alone, so the fact that you can't go down to the grocery store and get a pound of butter handily, you can't do this, you can't do that. Luckily, where I live, I do have medical facilities within walking distance, but that's about it. I have one or two small cafes that I can walk to if necessary. The other thing that I think low vision, particularly macular degeneration like I have, really affects you is your recognition of people. You can't see the details of the face, so it's very disturbing to have someone say to you, "Oh, hi, Ivan," when you don't see them. I get the feeling that I am ignoring people. As a result of that, I find myself when I'm walking downtown, I smile at everybody that goes by, just in case I don't recognize somebody and do not acknowledge their presence. Anyway, it is tough, and I'm lucky I have support. On weekends I have Jerry there. I feel guilty asking her to do as much as I do. By the same token, I think she enjoys it a little bit also. And I have a couple friends that take me to coffee when I want to go down to coffee in the morning with the boys.
One of the things I've always known about you is that you've always had a strong group of friends. How important is that in your life?
It's real important to have someone there when you want to say something, or it'd be an awfully boring world if you didn't have anyone to talk to at all. And I'm lucky to have quite a few friends that are available. Having lived in the same town for 87 years, I think is a real advantage in that way because you go back so many years with so many people. But I think organizations, whether they're formal or informal, such as the coffee group I have coffee with most every weekday morning, or the Over the Hill gang that I meet with every week to hike in Glacier. Those are important groups that'll go with me all my life, And before that, of course, I had various other things. My wife had the sewing club, which involved 8 women who got together, but their husbands also were involved directly. We made a lot of trips with that group, which was great.
How did Over the Hill Gang start?
There were 3 individuals who had done quite a bit of hiking together, but never on a routine basis, 3 or 4 trips a year. About the time I came along, I heard about this group through you, really. I joined the group, and at that time they thought maybe they should try and do it every week, and as a result, we started what ended up being the Over the Hill Gang, and we go out every Thursday, winter or summer, and hike or ski or do something, usually in Glacier National Park.
So you've been doing this since the 70s?
Yes,
early 70s.
I think I was about 45, 46 years old.
Wow. So you're a mountain man. There's no doubt about that. But I've also always described you as an entrepreneur, an amazing businessman, and an extremely early adapter of computers. And I wondered if you could tell me about that and about how technology helps you now.
Yeah, I had one of the earliest computers in the city, I think, and I had a TRS-80 Radio Shack. I did a little bit of programming with using BASIC, but when things moved so fast in the world that the technology went way beyond me, and I remember the first spreadsheet I used was very elementary, and you had to do a lot of things that now you just push a button and it occurs. And it's been real exciting to be in watching that develop. Magnification, of course, is great. I use magnification at varying degrees on the computer, and I also use it a lot with other devices. There's a device that's actually a TV camera. And there's a new device now, of course, that I use quite a bit with email, particularly when someone sends an email, I can have it read to me by Siri, and that has been real helpful. And I use it. I'm finding I'm using that more and more.
I was thinking about work-life balance and how you launched many companies, you made them successful, but you always took time to take family trips, do things with us kids. You hiked and skied on Thursdays, you were active in church and community boards, and you spent time with your friends, but you also had a pretty intense job with your own business. How were you able to strike this work-life balance? Did you do it consciously, where you said, I want to make sure that I come home at 6 o'clock every night and turn off work, or was it just something that came naturally to you?
I don't believe I came home and turned off work. I almost always carried a briefcase home with me and did quite a bit of work at home. In the early years, of course, when you're starting a business, it's a 24-hour job, it seems like, and you have to put in the work to get the business going and to take care of things. But as time goes on, you delegate more things to other people, and that allows you to take more time off. When you're doing everything when I first started with the building material, I delivered, I sold, I inventoried, I purchased the material, collected the accounts and everything else. As time went on, I hired people to do those things for me. I spent more time in management and directing other people. And this allows you to take the time and to do other things. Mm-hmm. And organize yourself so you can do that.
Why do you think you were successful?
Probably two things. Being conservative in my own, and having a conservative wife helps a lot. We have to, when you're in a small business that's growing, you have to save. You don't have any choice. You either save or fail. It takes more inventory as you grow, more accounts receivable, more of everything, and you've got to save. And I think that forces you into that. And then I was lucky to make a few smart investments that were very successful. So I think that's a couple of things.
How was your childhood different from mine?
That's a good question. I don't think of my childhood too much. My memory doesn't go back that far enough, probably, but I think not being as mobile, not having as many things to do not having organized sports in every field 24 hours a day, it seems like it's available to kids now. I think Boy Scouts was about the only organized thing I had in early years. Otherwise, we just spent the time on our own doing what we wanted to do and running around the city. Small town helps too, because you do have more freedom, I think, to do things. I did take 2 winters in California, which were very important to me. But my mother died when I was 2 years old, and I was raised pretty much entirely by my grandmother.
Right.
My dad was not around. My grandfather was not the type to do any guidance there, and he died early also. But so I owe an awful lot to my grandmother for taking care of me during those times. I often think and compare my upbringing with others, my friends, and I don't remember ever being punished for anything I ever did. I don't remember ever really being admonished for anything that I did. But there was something that told me what was right and what was wrong, I guess, and I just avoided those things, or at least hid them.
Yeah. One of the things that you did when your father was older is you kind of took care of him. What was that like when he was getting older and you had him working at the store, and I think you'd stop in and see him every day when he lived in the house by himself.
I did see him a lot. I tried to see him daily or have some communication with him daily. And up to the time when he could do anything, much of anything at all, I put him to work at our store, bagging nails or whatever, some thing to keep him busy and to give him a little bit of income. He lived by himself for many years. I never did have a real close relationship with my father like I did my grandmother, and we saw a lot of my grandmother in her later years. We were with her almost every day. We had some connection with her of some sort. She never lived with us. She lived by herself or in a nursing home, but we did see her a lot.
When you bought the lake property way back in the early 1950s, what were your dreams for this property where we're sitting here right now, and what are your dreams for the future?
When you were small and you were probably maybe even a preschooler, we drove around, tried to get outside and get your kids outside in some activities and weekends. And it seemed like every place I went, it was to a public campground, and it was crowded, and didn't quite feel if had to rush to get a good place, or just wasn't convenient. So I thought I'd really like, and that's one reason. But the other reason was that's what's been kind of a O'Neill family tradition in the past, was they have some kind of vacation place. So I started looking for a place, and I found this 40 feet of lakeshore property for sale, which isn't very much. And it was, at the time I thought it was pretty expensive, but looking back at it was nothing. But we bought the 40 foot on time. Later we bought more property. Now we have 200 feet in the properties.
I remember that we'd come down here and the kids, we would just play, and it seemed like you and Mom worked.
That's basically what it was, yeah. But it was a change, so it wasn't the same type of work. So I always did enjoy getting up in the woods, and still do, to get up in the woods and pile the brush and take care of the trees a little bit.
What about the future? What are your hopes and dreams?
I think quite a bit about that, and I think about it and I worry about it. I worry about what's going to happen. Now, of course, it's in the name of you kids, the three of you, and myself. And when I die, my interest will go to the grandkids, and they'll each have a small interest in it. I worry about it because I think it's going to eventually cause troubles within the family. Some one of them will want to sell, some will want to have their share of the place and separated and so forth. And that concerns me, and I don't know if there's a solution. But that does concern me. But I would like to see the property. It's so unique now in this world we have now to have property on a beautiful place like this that I'd sure like to have that held for the family forever.
Why is it so special here? I mean, I know the answer to that, but what do you think is so special?
Number one, it's a place where there's water and there's mountains, there's trees. I can get out of the cabin even and go up in the woods and do things. It's just important to get away.
Yeah. So, back to hiking. There have been times when you were hiking with the Over the Hill gang in Glacier Park when something happened to one of your hiking friends. One of them had a heart attack. One of them fell off a trail and died, I believe. And I remember suggesting to you that maybe you should quit because I didn't want to have to worry about you. And what was your answer?
You can get killed crossing the street. I think that I've taken some chances, there's no doubt about that, but getting to a peak is so fantastic that it's worth the effort and worth the danger. I've been on 120 peaks in the park or so, and I can remember every one of them very vividly because they're all different, and they're all a challenge, more or less, and it's been great.
You have a lot of memories. Can you remember what was your favorite day at the park, or were there just so many that would be hard?
It's impossible to say. I've had, 40 years times probably 40 times at least 40 weeks a year. That's a lot of trips in the park. And although now I don't do much of it, but I still try to get out the trail and do something. But I won't accomplish any more peaks. I won't accomplish any more probably new mileage in the park, but I will. I'll get out, do something.
The one time I remember that was scary was when you had to spend the night up on a mountain, and Mom got a radio message that they weren't sure where you were.
I had decided I only had one set of cliffs to go through in the dark, and I had decided I knew just how to get there, but I didn't know if I could see the spot. And luckily, I hit the spot just right. I was really intending to stop at that point and wait for daylight, but as it turned out, I was able to find the spot exactly, and I had 2 flashlights, which was lucky, and so I got out, but it just took a long time to get out in the dark. Every step you have to watch. So,
what about grizzly encounters?
I've seen a lot of grizzlies, but never been threatened by them.
Okay, so no grizzly attacks. That's good. Let's keep it that way. Let's talk about your great-grandchildren. 2 of them are going to be born any time now, and there's Riley and Liam.
Eliana, and of course Marion and Maisie.
Yeah. When you look at them, What do you want to tell them are the keys to a joyous life?
Do what you want to do. Select the employment that you enjoy. Because you're going to spend a good share of your time working. I think all of us can find something that we like to do in this world. And
well, I can't not ask this question because I love the story. I've heard it before. And there's a word that you use, and we'll see if you use this word again, but tell me the story of how you met Mom and what you thought of her when you met her.
Actually, she picked me out. She was a delegate and I was Theta Chi, and we had a dinner exchange when they all happened to be at our house. I think I was a junior at the time. She was a sophomore, and I was house manager, and at the head of the table, of course, the house manager. So, and we had mutual friends. I had a fraternity brother who had a girlfriend at the De La Gama house, and somehow she made the comment that she'd like to meet me. So that was arranged by this other couple, and that was the beginning of it. Yeah. I don't know what the word was you're thinking of, Sherry, but I would guess it's Twitter painted.
That's it. Twitter painted.
No doubt about it, I was Twitter painted. Still am.
You still are. What's been the thing you've missed most about Mom?
She was a great person, and just a wonderful mother and wife. Partner, we worked together all the time and we were just made for each other. And she had a wonderful family. She really did.
Is there anything you want to tell me now that you've never told me before?
Probably my most embarrassing moment when I regretted the one action I took that I regretted more than any. And that when I was after my freshman year in college, I worked for the Forest Service. And I was dispatcher. By definition, is to send people out on fires. We had one particular time when we had several lightning strikes. We had sent out all the people. We had no one to go. I said, I've got to go. We had another report of a fire. I said I had to go. And I had no vehicle. Yeah, all the Forest Service vehicles were gone. I don't know if I took it or if I asked to take it or not, but I had no one to ask really. But I took a car that was there. It happened to be an assistant ranger's car, and I never got to the fire. I ran into the ditch.
Oh no!
So that was I was very embarrassed about that. I think that's one of the worst things I've ever done. I sure should have got a ditch. Anyway.
Oh man. All right. What questions haven't I asked? What did I miss?
Let's see. All the trips that we took.
Yes.
I think the trips that we took as a family were great. I tried to take one a year for several years and have all the family go. And there were some great ones. Hawaii to Mexico to Disney World.
Our Christmas tradition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was fun. And then the other trips with the sewing clubs are all memorable. And one trip I took that I have a lot of memories about is a 10-day sailing trip in the British Virgin Islands in the Caribbean with Lee Jellison and Jim Galvin and Paula Jellison. She was working to be a ship captain. That was a beautiful trip. Little catamaran. And Sherry and I have taken trips to China, visit Steve, and that was a wonderful trip. We saw so many things. I think that's the most outstanding one. We've also taken trips to down the river, I should say up the River Nile, over to Danube, and from Amsterdam to Budapest, and a float trip in France, a short one, from Paris to Normandy area. Yeah, that was very good. And this year we took a trip up the river from New Orleans to Memphis, Tennessee, and then we also had a trip this year to Disney World. So, and I think I must have missed one or two.
When I was a child, we took a lot of road trips around Montana.
Mm-hmm, we did that. I'd like to take more, but I can remember taking some. We tried to take you to places around the state and see a little bit of Montana history.
Mm-hmm. A lot of trips to the farm in Scobie.
Oh, yes. And I should express my appreciation to my in-laws more because they did a lot for us.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah.
Good Lutheran people.
Mm-hmm. All right. Should we take a break?
That's enough.
That's the end of my questions. We're good.
Okay. Thank you.